I knew it. I told you so. I called it. Hey, okay, whatever. Maybe I didn't exactly call it, but it's details schmeetails, right? Ever since Mojang cooked with this potato update earlier this year, occasionally from time to time, we've been coming back to it and, well, potato-ing it up, diving into it a little bit more and trying to figure out just what in the heck in the world Mojang might have been on and they might have been trying to hint at with this weird, bizarre update. Now, the interesting thing about these April Fool's updates is the fact that occasionally, from time to time, some of these April Fool's snapshot features, well, they end up getting added to the full vanilla game in one form or another. It's been a couple of weeks now since its initial introduction, but Resin. Pretty much the first thing that I saw on Twitter after initially diving into the snapshot is the fact that Resin actually sneakily made its way into the game earlier this year. Now, the sneaky little, and at its time, only version of Resin that Minecraft had, well, it was a brand new ore that could be found inside of the potato dimension. You'd be able to find this stuff generating in small blobs, really like wherever, anywhere across the dimension. It would mine insanely slow. But if you had enough patience and mined through this ore with a different tool, if you not only had enough patience but also a little bit of knowledge and mined this ore with the correct tool, well, you would get a brand new item called the toxic resin. Fast forward things about half a year and a very familiar looking item would make its way into Minecraft's creaking update. Today, for the fun of it, but also to help us maybe figure out what feature just might be popping up next, let's take a closer look at the potato update and some of its strange features. For example, this is kind of perfect. Right in front of us, green wood. Wow, this stuff is beautiful. So in the wild here, you would be able to find this block called a potato stem block, generating as part of the trees in one of the like 5 or so new biomes that you'll find all across this potato dimension. And now, similar to any of the Minecraft wood types we know and love, in survival, if we run up to this thing and mine it with an axe, unlike the resin ore, this wood is indeed wood. You mine it with the axe and you actually, oh my god, the potato bees. I completely forgot about those things. Where did it go? Come back, please. Now, this wood type, whoa, baby. If you go ahead and take this thing and throw it into a crafting table, one of the most beautiful things of all time is found. The green plank, I mean, okay, I'll admit it, the texture is a little bit wonky here. It's yeah, sure, missing some of the finer details. Maybe a little bit trippy if I move my mouse back and forth really quick, so okay, I'll stop that. But it's green wood. It matches my hair, and it's just beautiful. The Mojang has to have heard us by now, definitely. Green wood is easily one of the most requested colors for a new wood type of all time. So the plank form, it's a little bit early looking and maybe could use a little bit more work, but that door, that's a brand new unique door, and that door is beautiful looking. It's like a gigantic maze on the door, the trap door. Don't even get me started. I mean, it's gorgeous, and that sound is that. I think that's just the nether sound, but wow, that sounds better than the creaking wood. That's a beautiful potato-y sunset sets in. Look at that sun, it's gorgeous. The elephant in the room here, we have to address it. You would notice it right off the bat in this dimension. The generation. What in the heck is going on here? This isn't vanilla. One of the first things that I thought when checking out this snapshot is, wow, this land is really weird. I wonder if they're testing something, maybe for, say, the next Minecraft update. And I mean, literally, since the very beginning, when I jumped into the snapshot, fell into a village by chance, and did some kind of intro skit, I've been so confused. Like, what was all of this weird custom generation? Fast forward to modern times, unfortunately, it doesn't look like this is any sort of hint for the creaking update per se, but it is still really weird. Why would they go through the trouble to have this whole custom land generation feature thing and just literally never use it? The first thing that comes to my mind with all of this, other than Schmend update, is of course the Pale Garden and those initial leaks. It totally sounded like a biome called the Pale Garden might be like Aether 2.0 and up in the sky. Can you imagine how fire that would have been if the Pale Garden biome used the generation, or at least some of it, from this dimension? Oh, man. Now I'm sad. Next up on our rail line today, taking a break from things that could maybe come to the game in the future and taking a look at another hint, huh? Wait, okay, so this might be a reach, but I might also be cooking. Inside of this potato dimension, there's a biome that is all paled out in gray. There's quite a bit of gray blocks inside of this space. Not very many trees, but gray blocks for sure. I wonder if this was an early hint as well, even if the vaguest of hints, right? No? Okay, never mind. For this next feature, we don't even need to be inside of the potato dimension, the flotator. Hi, yes, this thing. So earlier this year, in this video right here, you're a legend. I salute you right now. I'm physically saluting. You can see in my webcam, I'll zoom in on it. Yeah, I'm physically saluting you if you remember it. The flotator. This is one of the most intriguing things to be added of all time. So not only does it end up looking like that SCP mob that the creaking is kind of just like, what? Okay, day full of realizations. The creaking looks like SCP statue, and alright, it doesn't look like it behaves like it, but this block combination right here sure looks a whole lot like it. What? Was this another foreshadow? Anyways, this thing right here, if I can remember how it works, yes, we power this thing, and it's a moving redstone block. It will basically flotator itself all the way off into the sunset. It's quite beautiful, and honestly, would be one of the most fire things of all time to be added to vanilla Minecraft. I mean, look here with this thing. Explanation, it's almost not even needed. So we have a little combination of blocks here. We have a flotator and then a flotato. I want to say if I basically place things on that and then power this, then this is all a solid moving entity. I doubly want to say here, in fact, I know for sure that we could make this solid moving entity a little bit larger too. It doesn't have to stay so small. We could now go ahead and power this thing, and maybe I'm building a storage building off in the distance, and I want to move all of my diamond blocks really quickly. Well, no big deal. I could send them off into the sunset, but maybe like not so far off into the sunset. I put something in the way so it doesn't like move forever, and yeah, just like that. Special delivery. 12 diamond blocks. Now, as much as I love this thing and I dream of making this entire video all about this thing, I can't really do that. Will this be added inside of this update? Oh. Just like with a lot of the other features inside of the potato snapshot, it might be a little bit too late in this update, but the promise for the future, I think it's great. Now let's move from one redstone thing to a different redstone thing, and a theory. Let's rewind for a second, not so far back into the past. Think about what Mojang did with the 1.21 update, specifically the crafter. They implemented this thing to hopefully appease the stoners. Thinking back to when the devs initially revealed 1.21, they called this an update all about combat and an update all about tinkering. Tinkering, not so much. With like one brand new redstone block, I wouldn't really call it that. Maybe, just by chance, maybe some of the stuff didn't make the cut for the initial 1.21 release and is still on the table. They just needed more time. Entered the batteries. So this is a really interesting block, and look, I almost feel terrible for what I'm about to do here, but if I drop a villager on this block and I have a battery and that battery is powered, well, theoretically, that should be harming my friend. Alright, hey, I won't lie, it's been a minute, alright? Yes, the potato battery. The very interesting concept for a new redstone block. This new block is a toggleable block, but you don't need a redstone to toggle it. Walk up to it and interact with it, and just like that, the battery is on. When the battery is powered, it will continuously deal damage. Taking a look at this block and the details of it, we've got copper in one corner, iron in the other corner. I enable it, basically the wire turns on, cool particle effects happen, and yeah, like constant damage happens. I would say that a redstone component with this kind of behavior, I mean, it's not fully off the table. What do you think? Do you think something like this one could ever make the vanilla game? Alrighty, next up, let's go ahead and make a return to the potato dimension. I can't help but think that this item, it's like a shield POV be like, right? Anyway, next up, let's go ahead and trek ourselves back over to the potato dimension. Ooh, now weird custom potato dimension things and maybe potential hints. I could talk about this stuff all day long and night too. With the added context of the creaking update and what's going on, taking a look back at the features, another one that might be a little bit of foreshadowing action is these bricks. Definitely a little bit multi-toned here. You could say yellow, you could say orange, but still, we have some kind of weird yellowy orange potato-y colored bricks inside of the snapshot. Now, the next feature I want to take a look at here, it's all into small details. It's been in front of us the whole time. This beautiful flower, we can find it all over the place. The poison, the poison. I forgot all about that, the poison. No more poison. Maybe, and just hear me out on this, but maybe if we're going to call a biome the pale garden biome, perhaps maybe the garden itself should have a little bit more flowers inside of it. This beautiful flower right here is so stunning looking. Yeah, sure, maybe they remove a little bit of the potato-iness from the bottom of the flower, but more flowers, specifically a 2 tall or 1.5 block tall flower, that'd be fascinating. Considering the fact of what they've done with the eye blossom in relatively recent weeks, maybe they're unfortunately done cooking when it comes to new flowers inside of this update, but man, that flower right there, that would make one beautiful looking pale garden flower, right? Could almost exactly fit in as is. Oh, now I had to try so hard to prevent this entire video being dedicated to the frying table. In fact, I'm coming back in here in post just to let you know that I chopped out a solid 3 minutes of me going on about the frying table and how weird this thing was. Like, look here, guys. Do we seriously think that the Minecraft developers totally just foreshadowed a complete joke update inside of this video, and the frying table was absolutely nothing at all? Just like a joke update foreshadowing or absolutely nothing? What? That doesn't make sense. I'm still hung up on it, and maybe I will be until the day I depart from this world, but this thing, frying table, it has to have meant something more. Now, the frying table, in the context of the potato snapshot, it is one of the most advanced things in this entire update. I mean, kicking things off here with the block itself, like the model shaping of it, that's insane. One of the most complex looking things that I have ever seen in vanilla Minecraft. The joke update or not, this thing is so advanced looking. Mechanically, the frying table, it also seems to have quite a bit of depth here inside of the snapshot. Basically, it was all about potato peels and baking potatoes, note blocks, automatically harvesting honey bottles, and if you're sick, literally frying mobs inside of the game too. Look, to me, this seems like it's some kind of hint at a future food update or a different change in the mechanic or something, and I will stand by it. There's no way they literally are just foreshadowing a joke months in advance. What? This thing is fascinating. I don't know what this could mean. Maybe it's a food update, some kind of overhaul of the system, a modernization. There's no chance we end up seeing this inside of the creaking update, right? Like, there's just not time for a food revamp. But something, my dear frying table, you have to mean something in the future, right? Don't even get me started on it. How many times have you actually used every single different food, like dried kelp? Why would you even? Like, imagine if you could use this table to say bacon potion effects to different food items. Oh, please, please. A long time ago, when the heavy core was first teased to us on YouTube, this thing, it seemed like it might be like, well, to be honest, the theories, they kind of went hard. It seemed like you could do a lot of different things. One of those things in a dream world may be doing exactly what the lashing potato item almost seemed like it was going to do. A grappling hook. The idea of something like this that we could use to soar around our world after we, of course, get a little bit more practice with it. Oh, the idea of a grappling hook. I feel like this idea isn't really too far off from reality too. A grappling hook that maybe, say, doesn't reach 32 blocks away, throw you so violently up into the air, and just basically allows you to fly through your world. Yeah, I would say an item kind of like this one right here, but an item like this that is more toned down in the context of the vanilla game. I mean, not only is this so fun, like I could mess around and try and grappling around the world for hours here, but the usefulness of a potential tool, something like this, and how it would fit into the vanilla game, which I think it could. I mean, imagine having a new drop, and that drop, it's centered around a brand new grappling hook item. Maybe they add a new structure to the game where you could try it out, or just take it over to your local end city and try it out there. Swing around a bit. This grappling hook item, legit, might be the coolest thing about this entire snapshot, and I need it now. The potato snapshot, there were of course so many more features inside of this thing. Do you think one of those could come to the vanilla game? If you're not all potatoed out and you'd like to see even more of this wacky wild potato snapshot, maybe a little bit more theories, tap that like button. Down in the description, all of the links that you need in your life. My patrons, Ground Crazy May, Medical Boomstick, Fire Dragon 19, Steve M, Nick C, The Duke Pixie Phantom, Deb K, and Faithful Grimoire, thank you all so much for your support. It's been me, Frying Table Lover 96, and I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.